Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, everyone? How's everyone doing? Hello, hello, hello. Hey, we got the camera back on. Oh my God, how's everyone doing? All right. So my apologies here, doing a late live for you guys. Yes, this is live. So I went to the park today and I was playing some ball with my dog. Yes, I have the best golden doodle in the world. Literally, this dog is able to play basketball with me. So I took my girl and I was playing ball with some guy as well, and we stumbled upon talking about stocks. And unfortunately, needless to say, the guy was very misinformed. Right. So I wanted to preface this video and talk about this: why retail investors are so gullibly dumb. We're going to go in and talk about, these are all free articles. There'll be a link down below if you want to read these newsletters, but we're going to talk about Contrarian View, Wall Street pivot back to stocks, recent Goldman Sachs forecast, the Russell 2000 Ford PE, what it means, the retail put to call ratio and the impact on investment strategies, and the record divergence between small caps and large caps. So there's a lot. We're going to be talking about. But I want to tell you about the story. And hey, how you doing, Vladimir? Vladimir, are you drinking some vodka? I'm just kidding, right? Vladimir. All right. So, unfortunately, guys, I was talking to this gentleman, and he was saying how, he's not a buyer of this market, that he believes the whole market is overvalued, that he's going to essentially wait for the recession. So he's in money market funds right now, which we're going to talk to about. We have an article on that we're going to mention. He also went ahead and basically talked about how, he just doesn't believe, the market can sustain itself. And he sees the interest rates are high, housing is expensive, it's hard to be an American, all these things. And he's quoting a lot of anecdotes that we all feel, as Americans and people around the world, it's getting really hard. But it's all emotion. Because if you look at the data, the consumer's strong, earnings are strong, unemployment is at literally near lows. Federal Reserve is going to consider cutting. And it's at this point in this time starting to look like potentially a soft landing. So the argument is the market's overvalued, the whole market. And that's actually false, because there's a lot of stocks out there that are actually undervalued, and some of them are actually small caps. So the guy wasn't having it. He was basically saying, man, I honestly think the whole market's overvalued. Look at ARK Advanced. She just got demolished. This whole AI movement is crap. The same thing happened in 2000. Internet is bigger than AI. And look what happened to the internet.com crash. And it's, it's that type of thinking where it was the same folks that, let me get my sip of cardamom coffee here. It's that same thinking where those folks that really attested the development of the gasoline car. They're like, no, we're really going to transfer oil and gas across the United States and put it in the ground. People can pump it. That doesn't sound right. Horses are easy. Just have some grass and people are able to drive them, ride the horses. And it's unfortunate. So we're going to go ahead and go through these sets of articles here to do this analysis here. Okay. So the Contrarian View, could Wall Street pivot back to stocks? Well, if you go ahead and look at the money market funds, approximately $1.4 trillion in money market funds have entered this year. And it makes sense because interest rates are high. So my argument with him is, well, if you think there's a recession that's coming, then what are you going to do with your money market funds? What's going to happen to them? They're going to go down. Oh, sorry. If you believe the Federal Reserve is going to have to cut rates, what happens to the money market funds? They're going to start decreasing in terms of their net payout. So where does all this money go? Remember, guys, $1.4 trillion came into money market funds about just this year, literally 11 months into this year, November 2023. Altogether, there's about 4 to 5, maybe $6 trillion in money market funds. That's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines waiting to be plowed into stocks. That's that. So that's that. Okay. Could this be a contrarian indicator? Everyone's so into it that it got to a point where it's a contrarian indicator, meaning that you got to look at it opposite. Goldman Sachs believes that core CPI and core PCE is going to be near 2% anywhere between March 2026 and 2027. They look like it's like this. So they believe that inflation has pretty much reared its head and it's going down. If you look at the Russell 2000 and look at the forward PE, we're looking at essentially double-digit returns given the forward PE that we have right now, meaning that small caps are undervalued. In fact, one of our members said, holy moly, small caps are trading like penny stocks. And it's true. Then we go here, and this is a great article that you would want to look at, guys. This article breaks down let me go ahead and put it here so you can see it. Here's the article if you guys want it. This article breaks down this, market sentiment decoded, the retail put to call ratio, robo, and the impacts on investment strategies. Every time where retail investors were the most fearful, where they were the most pessimistic, it was the best time to buy. Why are retail investors so dumb like this? Why is it like this? Why does this guy who's literally playing basketball with me, and he knows about the CPI, he understands this information, why does he believe, why do these people fall in this cycle? Why do retail investors, when they're the most fearful, it's the best time to buy? Why is it like this? The only thing I can understand is the news that they get. The news it's the fucking news, guys. It's the news that basically gets to these people that makes them believe that it's the worst time to buy when in reality it's the best time to buy. So I want to go ahead and take a look for you here, uncovering value in market. And again, if you want to read more about this, there's a whole article here you can read that I wrote. Okay. All these have articles attached to them. You can go ahead and read them more. Okay. It's free. Subscribe to the Medium channel below. It's great. So, rise of small caps to large caps, lowest on record. Okay. So, this is the the large cap to small cap ratio. Whenever the ratio is high, large caps, essentially, small caps to large caps ratio. So, whenever the number is high, small caps are doing well. Whenever the number is low, large caps are doing. So, it's the opposite, right? So right now, small caps are doing terrible, which is why it's low. So when was the last time small caps did this bad? Well, let's go ahead and take this mouse and let's basically push it to, right here. What's this? The great .com bubble crash. Now, let's go ahead and let's go to our terminal GPT and let's ask it a question. And hopefully it knows the answer. When did the Amazon stock price fall by 90%? What year was it? Let's see if Stock Terminal GPT knows. The Amazon stock price fell by approximately 90% during the .com crash in early 2000. Specifically, it reached its lowest point in September of 2001. Amazon fell, and again, let me get this shit out of the way. People that don't know, this is our own financial literacy bot here that's been trained, AI, so Stock Terminal GPT. You can go to stockterminalgpt.com and you'll learn more about it. This is our subsidiary, part of All Stock Trades. But back in 2000, Amazon stock dropped by 90%. It dropped right here by 90%, ladies and gentlemen. And what do you think those people that sold Amazon at 90%, what do you think they're feeling right now? I want to talk to them. I want to talk to those people that sold at 90%. How do you think in their heart of hearts do they feel right now when Amazon, we go to Max, in 2001, September, we're just here, look at this. Amazon, 68 cents. Somebody sold, whenever there's a buyer, there's a seller. Somebody sold Amazon at 68 pennies at a market valuation, what 68 cents was. Why are retail investors so freaking dumb? I just can't understand it. I just feel so bad for them. Because look at this. This is why retail investors always lose. Look at this. They missed a high of 26,000%. So let's do the math here. $178. Just pretend one person in 2001 purchased $1,000 of Amazon stock. They would have approximately 2,000 shares. 2,000 shares multiplied by 178. That $1,000 that they have invested turned into $356,000. So imagine if someone put in 100K in Amazon, they would have approximately, we'll call it 180,000 shares. You multiply that by 178, that is $32 million. $100,000 investment turning into 32 million. What do you think happened to the people that sold at 90% loss? How are they even still alive right now? Did they jump off of a cliff? What the hell did they do? Ladies and gentlemen, the last time, read the title, ratio of small caps to large caps, lowest on record. It is the lowest on record. I mean, is my voice in your ears? This opportunity does not come every day. This happened 20 years ago when stocks fell this much. This happened 20 years ago. Okay? This is an opportunity of a lifetime. There's so many small caps out there right now. There's so many stocks that have been untapped. No one knows about them. And if they turn into something huge, it'll be an investment that only comes in 1 in 20 years. Overall, if you look at what Morgan Stanley thinks, they believe that the S&P earnings projections and earning estimates are going to they're going to be growing. They believe there's going to be a huge jump. This already is a huge jump between 2024 estimate between the consensus. They're a little bit more bearish in 2024 than the consensus. But overall, the consensus is pretty darn happy that 2025 is going to be an explosion. Let's say 2026, 2027. It mind boggles me that the best time to buy is when others are fearful. The best time to buy is when others are fearful. And Warren Buffett knew this. Warren Buffett, the wisest man we have in the market, said, be greedy when others are fearful. I keep driving home the point. And it's unfortunate because I sometimes go, out Scottsdale and walk around and go to farmers markets, and I just kind of look at society and I just kind of watch everyone. And I just look around and I'm just like, we go ahead and say, average salary in the United States, in the US. The average salary is $60,000. The average salary. And the top 1% income in the US is $800,000. And I just see this disparity, and then I look at it, and then you look at me who's come from nothing, right? And look where I am now. It's just a shame that there's just this big block, a barrier, kind of a ceiling between the rich and the poor. And it's not just a financial block. It certainly is. It's an opportunity block. It's a community block. It's it's so many blocks, but the biggest one that you can change is your mentality. It's your psychology. It's a psychology block, I think. It's a psychology block. So I believe there is opportunity in the market. And if you don't understand this graph, if you don't understand that when people are fearful, that is the time to get in. Just look at the data. Follow the charts. Follow every time the put value exceeds the call. It's the best time to buy. And look where we're at right now. It's the best time to buy. And remember, this is like with the S&P 500 top Magnificent 7 taking over. It's not even the Russell. Guys, I tell you, it's, I try to wrap my head around it. But, there's people that watch this channel and, hey, if we can help some people kind of see this data, and because you're not going to see, you go to CNN, go to CNBC, they're not going to show you this. They don't want you to know. Look up Jim Cramer, hedge fund manipulation, and you'll see. They want you to be uneducated. It's intentional. Debbie DeBose, whatever her name is, $5 billion net worth, was the Secretary of Education in Trump's administration. She knows about Wall Street. Why didn't she put a financial literacy block in all of K through 12 education? They don't care. They absolutely do not care. Just look at this graph. Look how clean it is. Every time people are fearful, that's the best buying opportunity. There's a dip here in 2008, the great financial crisis. Huge fear. Look at that fear. Buying opportunity. I'm curious to see if our stock terminal knows this. I'm curious. What stocks did Warren Buffett buy during the great financial crisis of 2008? Curious to see if it's been programmed on this. I'm curious. Look at this. Warren Buffett made several notable stock purchases during the great financial crisis. Some purchases were Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, General Electric, Wells Fargo. Now, I want you to be, this is very interesting, okay? So let's go ahead here. Did Hank Paulson, the Secretary of Treasury, call Warren Buffett before the great financial crisis, and did Warren Buffett help them? The answer is yes. I want to see if this AI knows it. Look at this. It certainly does. It says, yes, Hank Paulson, the former Secretary of Treasury, did reach out to Warren Buffett during the great financial crisis of 2008. Paulson sought Buffett's advice and assistance in stabilizing the financial markets. Warren Buffett did provide support by making a significant investment in Goldman Sachs, which helped boosted confidence. He purchased Goldman Sachs and the banking sector during the challenging times. Buffett involvement was seen as a vote of confidence in the financial system and played a role in restoring market stability. Now, hold on. Did Goldman Sachs get bailed out by the government in 2008? in the great financial crisis? Yes. During the 2008 great financial crisis, Goldman Sachs received assistance from the US government through the Troubled Asset Relief Program. Warren Buffett told the government to bail them out. He bought shares at an undervalued price, knowing that the government will bail them out. Warren Buffett made billions, but yet Americans sold stock in 2008. In fact, I was at a restaurant 2 years ago, an Italian restaurant. The guy said that I lost $300,000 on 2008. I sold everything and I never touched the stock market since. It's a gamble. Let me ask this. Is it true that the top 10% of the wealthiest people control 89% of the stock market? Yes, it is true that the small percentage of the population holds a significant portion of the stock market wealth. According to various studies and reports, the top 10% of the wealthiest individuals do control significant portions of the stock market. Well, if that's the case, guys, then why do retail investors think of it as a gamble? Why? Because retail investors make $59,000. They're making nothing. Why? Their opinion doesn't even matter. They don't even know what the hell they're talking about, right? That's why I love the Stock Terminal GPT. You can find it at stockterminalgpt.com. You can get access to it. You can get lifetime access. We got the Black Friday, $1,000 off. But are you starting to see this big picture? Let's do another one. Did Dr. Michael Burry, The Big Short, purchase stock in the great financial crisis of 2008? The answer is yes, but let's see if it knows. Yes, Dr. Michael Burry, the hedge fund manager investor portrayed in the movie The Big Short, did indeed purchase stock during the great financial crisis. He was known for his accurate predictions of the subprime mortgage crisis and his subsequent investment to profit off of the collapse of the housing market. Guys, what am I trying to basically communicate to you guys? It's very clear. I'm trying to we're referencing the great financial crisis here, GFC, which happened here. People were fearful. It was a great opportunity to buy. I'm honestly curious. I'm gonna ask the AI. Maybe I'm lost. Why is it that when retail investors have a high put volume, that they are the most bearish at the best times to buy stock? Why are they like this? Can you explain why they are so bearish when it is the best time to buy stock? And why are they the most bullish when it is the most terrible times to buy stock? Why do they think this way? I'm curious. Let's see if it knows what I'm talking about. Retail investors often exhibit behavior known as contrarian sentiment. Contrarian. This means that they tend to have different perspectives on the market compared to institutional investors. Boom. Or market experts. Literally, the guy I was playing basketball with was saying, I don't know with Wall Street. Usually when Wall Street agrees on something, it's the opposite. No, my friend, it's the opposite when you agree on something. You represent retail investors. Let's read. When retail investors have a high put volume indicating a bearish sentiment, it can be seen as a contrarian indicator. There are a few reasons why retail investors may become bearish during what could be the best time to buy stocks. Firstly, retail investors often rely, it's so sad, they rely on emotion and short-term market trends rather than conducting thorough fundamental analysis, which is what we teach. They may be influenced by negative news or market volatility, leading them to believe that the market will continue to decline. Like I'm here, I'm just shaking my head. I'm just sad. I'm just like, there will always be poor people. There will always be poor around us. It's so sad. Secondly, retail investors may lack experience and knowledge about investing. They may not fully understand the concept of buying low and selling high, and instead tend to follow the crowd. If they see others selling or being bearish, they may feel compelled to, do the same without considering the long-term potential of the stock or stocks, right? On the other hand, when retail investors become the most bullish during the most terrible times to buy stock, it can be attributed to the few factors as well. Retail investors often fall victim to herd mentality, where they often follow the crowd and get caught up in the excitement of a rising market. They may be influenced by media, which is controlled by institutional investors, hype, or social media discussions, which can create a false sense of optimism. Additionally, retail investors may have a fear of missing out, FOMO, on potential gains. They may believe that market will continue to rise indefinitely and feel pressure to invest, even when it may not be the most rational decision based on the market conditions. It's important to note that these are generalizations. It may not apply to every retail investors, and certainly the ones on watching our channel. God bless you all for listening and being open-minded to learn this information. As individual behaviors and strategies can vary, however, understanding these tendencies can help investors make more informed decisions and avoid falling into common behavioral traps. Honestly, I'm trying to do the best I can. You know what I mean? We created this platform trying to do God's work, and hopefully we can make a couple of millionaires out of you guys, It's the best we can do, honestly. It's a shame. I've seen so many folks that have inherited generational wealth, and they live a different life. They you would think that they care. Some of them just don't. I'm not saying all. We can't generalize there, but you think about it, guys, and they just enjoy their life. They're on a yacht, relaxing. They own a beautiful yacht. They're dance the night away, and they wake up and enjoy their life. It's not that they're bad people. They just don't interact with people that are poor. They don't know the struggles. What gets me is people that manipulate the market, put negative news, drive the stock price down on purpose. I mean, it's on YouTube. You can find Jim Cramer, institutional investor, hedge fund manipulation. It's a shame. I hope this video brought value. I honestly haven't asked the AI these questions, so these questions were great. I knew all these answers, but it's just so refreshing, to see something that doesn't bullshit you and gives you an answer. So I hope that AI does help. It certainly will help the stock group we have here. It sucks. You know what I mean? Because someone who's in medical school and trying to become a doctor, we're all trying to, extend people's life expectancy, trying to help patients, trying to, make sure the social determinants of health doesn't affect them. But it's like, there's people out there that want that. People, California profits off of the poor. California, profits out of the homeless, right? Look what they did in San Francisco. They ended up cleaning it up within literally weeks, days. They cleaned it up. They cleaned it up because of Xi Jinping and President Biden's meeting. I think Tupac said it very clearly. He said, they don't give an F about us, right? And he said another thing that Tupac said was they have money for wars and they cannot feed the poor. Right? They got money for wars but can't feed the poor. So it's up to you guys to use your brain. We at least now have technology. YouTube is around. These YouTube lives. This microphone that allows me to communicate to you, and also all the software that we're able to develop. So at least there's an opportunity. It's just, if you're at lower ends of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, how can you commit to self-actualization? when you're trying to look, when you're trying to, have money for food. So I feel for a lot of the people that are struggling right now. I really do. My heart goes out to them. All the people that are in the mastering course that are watching this video, there's a lot of burden on your head now by you knowing this information. So I hope that you go out there and share this information and teach your children this, so they could pass on this torch and be able to learn how to invest and see how Wall Street works. This is how money is made in the United States of America. This is how money is made. The top 10% of the wealthiest people control 90% of the stock market, 89 to be specific. Whoever tells you Wall Street is a gamble is lying to you. In fact, I'll ask this one last question. If it is true that the top 10% of the most wealthiest people control 89% of the stock market, then why do retail investors believe the stock market is a gamble? It's an honest question. I'm curious to see. Let's just my answer is because they're emotional. They're not given great news. They don't know the information. They don't know financial literacy. They just don't know nothing about fundamentals, and they just lack of knowledge, I would say. So let's see what it says. Retail investors may perceive stock market as a gamble due to several factors, despite the fact that the top 10% of the wealthiest individuals control a significant portion of the market. Here are a few reasons. Look at that. Didn't I just hide the tab and I said lack of knowledge? Number one, lack of knowledge. Many retail investors may have limited knowledge about investing in the stock market without proper understanding of fundamentals and technical analysis. They may view investing as a game of a chance rather than strategic wealth creation. This is exactly why we created this. This is why we created and give you access to lifetime Wall Street data. I mean, this is it. This is why. This is, it's the knowledge gap, right? Let's see what the other one. Number two. Here's media. That's what I talked about too. So, volatility, uncertainty. The stock market can be volatile with price fluctuations daily based on various factors such as economic indicators, company performances, geopolitical events. The volatility can create perceptions of unpredictability and risk, leading to some retail investors to see it as a gamble. Media influence. Media coverage of the stock market movements often focuses on short-term fluctuations. I can't even read this. Sensationalizing market ups and downs. The constant attention to market volatility can contribute to the perception that investing is akin to gambling. Lack of control. Retail investors may feel that they have limited control over investments compared to institutional investors or wealthy individuals. This perceived lack of control, yeah, that's so true, can make investing seem more like a gamble, as they may feel they have less influence over the outcome. This is so true. It is important to note that, so number one, lack of knowledge. We fix that with what we have here. Volatility and uncertainty, yeah, of course. That's why we need to understand what fundamental analysis is and technicals and economic indicators. Media influence, well, screw the media, right? We focus on SEC filings. Lack of control, no, we have control. We certainly have. We can look at the SECs. We can look at the annual 10K report. We could do an intrinsic value calculation. We can do a margin of safety. This is I don't know about you guys, but like I wish I had this 15 years ago. I would. I learned all of this the hard way. Like damn, dude, this thing is amazing. Yeah. So, anywho, guys, late night, just talking with you guys. Hopefully this video found value, and hopefully you go through all these things. I mean, this really hits my heart. Retail investors may perceive the stock market as a gamble due to several factors, despite the fact that the top 10% of the wealthiest individuals control a significant portion of the market. Number one, lack of knowledge. Two, volatility and uncertainty. 3, media influences. And 4, lack of control. It's the same reason why people don't vote. Lack of control. All right, folks. I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully this video was used to you. If you do want to learn more about what we offer, go to alstocktrades.com. We have a Black Friday coupon code. Just type in Black Friday. Get your $1,000 off. We have a firm where you can finance it monthly to get lifetime access. Take advantage. And I hope that you understand and you see and ask yourself the question, if Wall Street is truly a gamble, then how the hell and why do the top 10% wealthiest people in this country own more than 89% of the stock market? Ask yourself that. Have a good night.